Hey, I'm Jenna.
I'm Whitney.
We don't want to work out.
Like ever, but with each other's support,
we can master manageable workouts together. We did it. All right. Welcome, everybody, to 10 minutes of sweet, sweet stretching. So I am excited for this, let me tell you, because there is nothing that the body loves more than a good stretching session. We all need to do it. We should all really do it every day. And what I'm hoping is that this video will serve as a guide and will just kind of start to build up a little library of stretches that you can do anytime. There's a lot of different times throughout our day where we could do some stretching. I think mainly the two major times that are coming to mind for me that most people have time to stretch is if you're ever sitting down to, watch some Bachelor, watch some reality TV, watch a movie, something like that. Great time to stretch, and then the other time I'm thinking is when you're laying in bed, right before you go to bed, you can do some stretching, in bed. And actually, they've done some research that shows that stretching in bed actually helps your body to, well, it improves like blood circulation, but it also it's relaxing, it's calming, it's good for your nervous system. So it actually kind of helps you transition to sleep, which is really interesting. So, and then a couple quick benefits of stretching other than what I just said. It gives you an increased range of motion, which is good. And what I mean by that is a simple example would be like if, range of motion is like, okay, if I can lift my arm here until things get tight and blocked, an increased range of motion would look like this, right? So I just kind of get more range of motion out of my body. And of course that does prevent injury, and improve blood circulation, which is always good. You want to get that blood moving to all the tissues in your body, because your blood carries oxygen and repairing, it repairs your tissues. So blood circulation is good. And then there's the decreased risk of injury and overall pain, that comes along with stretching. So if you have back pain or knee pain or something like that, incorporate some stretching into your day, and I guarantee it's going to help. So, Whitney, we have 10 stretches today, and I'm thinking about just kind of doing 1 minute for each stretch. And I just want to remind everybody, keep breathing as we go through these stretches. Do not hold your breath when you stretch. It's going to be hard, and I want everyone to try to notice if they're holding their breath. And if you notice that you're holding your breath, just remind yourself like, okay, I need to breathe as I go through this. It's going to help you get a deeper stretch.
Something I do want to say before we get started is I know Jenna just had like a pamphlet list full of reasons it's great to stretch. If you get to the point where you're like, oh, I should really stretch now, but I'm not going to, please don't beat yourself up about it. Stretching right now with us, maybe this one time this week, is going to do wonders for your body. So if you know you should stretch and you just don't feel like it, that's okay. Please forgive yourself for not feeling like doing it. It's okay. But doing this right now is going to have a huge impact. So let's enjoy it.
All right. Great. All right. You want to get right into this here? So my first stretch is called the runner's stretch. And basically, let me just show real quick before I start the clock. And this is one where if this hurts your knee at all, if you don't have like a soft surface to do this on, you might want to skip this one, and maybe I'll provide an alternative, because this will hurt your knees if you're on a hard surface. So I'm on a carpet, so it's not going to bother me too much. But all right, I'll just show you. Okay, so runner stretch. You're on one knee, okay, and the opposite leg is going to extend like this, hands on your hips. And what you're going to do is you're going to kind of rock you're going to kind of rock back and forth. So here I'm sending my hips back. I'm really stretching out the hamstring here. And then you can come forward, bend that front leg, all right, and lean back. And then you're going to get that nice hip flexor stretch here. Okay, so this is called the runner.
Go back to the beginning position. Go back to the first position. Notice that she's, right here. And now the video is probably on me, but when I'm stopped talking, look how she's bending at the hips, keeping her back straight, almost like her hips are on a hinge. Nothing changes. Oh. So sit up, Jenna. Sit up at the hips. Yeah, all she did was it was a hinge that her hips are on. Very slight.
Yeah, and I'm just going to talk real quick just to get the video back to me so I can show everybody what you were just talking about. So I'm up and I'm hinging. This is what she meant by hinge right here, okay? So I'm hinging at the hips and yeah, I'm just kind of leaning into it. And then I'm coming up, bending the knee, and I'm just leaning back. All right, and this is called a runner stretch. It doesn't mean it's for runners. I mean, this is for any person, like, ever. It's just called the runner stretch because the hamstrings and the hip flexors tend to be what gets really tight on runners. So if you are a runner, this is a good one for you. Okay, all right, so we'll be on for 1 minute here on each side, okay? So I have the clock started, okay? And I'm just gonna kind of alternate back and forth. And every time I go back and forth, I want to make sure that I'm exhaling into the stretch. All right, and then I'm taking a nice inhale as I switch and then exhaling into the stretch. And you might find that you can get a little further each time, but definitely don't feel like you have to push that. There's no need to pull a muscle during stretching. We have 20 seconds left here. Just kind of keep alternating back and forth.
Sorry, I have nothing to say. This one, I think this one feels so good, especially when you're lunging, when you're leaning your hips forward and pushing them into the ground. Gosh, it feels so good.
Yeah, this one's good. I think all right, drop. That was our first minute. We're going to switch to the other side. I think if you do no other stretch and you just do this one, I think that just this alone would just make people's body feel a little bit looser because you're really stretching through the hips and kind of hitting those main muscles that support you. Just like, as you go throughout your day, you do a lot of walking, might not even realize how much walking you do. And this is really good for that. All right, let's get the timer going here for our second minute on the other side. I love the hip flexor one of this. It always feels like so tight for me. So, that too. Just remember to breathe. Remember to breathe. I'm going to keep saying that. Just help that circulation along. Oh, I did forget to tell people what to do if they can't go on their knee here. That's my bad. Maybe if you want to go back and restart the video, what you can do, I'm just going to show you right now in the last 15 seconds of the stretch, is you can just stand up and do this and just kind of lean back into that hip flexor stretch and lean forward like this. Okay, so if you've just been sitting here the whole time wondering what you should be doing, do that. Go back, restart it, and do it this standing up version. All right. That's our first minute. Okay, so our next stretch is going to be a forward fold. All right, so we're standing up and we're just going to fold our bodies in half. You might want to wrap your hands around your ankles and you're going to, again, like Whitney mentioned before, you're going to hinge at your hips. So what we mean by that is you're not rounding through your back for this. You're going to keep your core upright and straight and you're going to hinge at the hip like a door hinge. Okay, and I'll do this one facing this way so you can really see the hinge. All right, so here we go, 1 minute. So we're folding forward. I'm gonna wrap my hands around, and if that's too much, that's fine. Just put your hands on the ground, or let's say the hinge, maybe you're stopped here. That's fine. Then this is the stretch for you, right? And just breathe in, and with every exhale, you might get a little more distance. Wherever you're at, wherever your stopping point is, that's fine. Just work there, and then just hold it, and let the weight of your body just kind of take over here, the weight of your upper body. You don't have to push through the stretch, you just have to let it happen.
That was such a
15.
simple way to put that. That was very effective.
Thanks. 10 seconds. I think that's probably a good rule of thumb for stretching in general. Don't force it. It's definitely not meant to be forced. Drop. All right, because you can hurt yourself stretching too, and obviously that's the opposite of what you're doing it for. All right, so this next one is going to be a seated back twist. Okay, so basically what this is going to look like is you're going to cross one leg over the other, and you can put the bottom leg like this, or you can keep your bottom leg straight out if that feels a little better on your hips. Okay, doesn't matter, either way is up to you. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take the opposite arm of the knee that's crossed over, and you're going to bring the elbow to the outside of the knee, and you're going to breathe in, and then on your exhale you're going to twist your back. This is one where I really don't want anybody to push it too hard. Okay, go easy on this one. All right, this is just to give your back a nice back twist, but this is not to break your back. This is also not to crack your back. Okay, it might crack, and that's okay, but don't try to crack your back. Just don't push through this one. Just let it happen. All right, here we go. 1 minute on each side.
And a good way, I feel like, to make sure you don't go too far on this stretch specifically is if you're having trouble breathing, you're pushing it a little too far. So you really want to be able to breathe continuously through this.
I think that's a general rule of thumb for life anyway. All right, let's switch sides. All right, so we're on the other side now for the rest of this minute. I believe I said 1 minute on each side. I didn't mean to say that. We're actually going 30 seconds on each side. We're doing the stretch for a minute, so my bad for being a little confusing there. 10 seconds left.
Get it together, Jenna.
I can't. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. This next stretch is called a butterfly stretch. All right. So just kind of bringing the feet together. Just put your 2 feet together like this. All right. And I like to try to kind of pull my heels in as close as I can in my body to extend that stretch. But if that's too much of a strain, you might have your heels a little further away from your body, and that may give you a good enough stretch. So again, it's up to you as to where the stretch limit is, okay? And don't push it, all right? So here we go. Clock is on. We're here for 1 minute. I like to kind of rock my hips a little bit during this one too, just get a little looser.
I do the same thing. I'm not big on moving a lot when I'm stretching, but yeah, this one it feels really good to kind of wiggle it out.
Yeah.
Now, Jenna, if you could fly anywhere, where would you go? My little butterfly.
Oh man, that song from the 90s just came in my head when you said that.
Yoga,
come my
baby.
lady, come my lady. I think honestly, right now, Whitney, this is gonna sound corny. I would probably fly
He's
right down to
coming
Virginia.
to me.
Yep, you got it. Yep, because I have not been to see you in years, and that is a place I would definitely go to right now. All right, here we go. That was the first minute. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this butterfly stretch and we're gonna extend it. And I'm glad we're doing that because now I get to ask Whitney where she would go. And please don't feel like you have to say to me because I said to you. Okay. All right, here we go. So we're on for another minute. Okay, we're still in our butterfly, but this time we're gonna reach our arms forward. All right, and this is gonna be tough, right? And most of us are probably not gonna end up flat on the floor in this one. This is as far as I can go. So, all right, so.
No, this hurts.
Where are you gonna fly now? Your turn.
Let me see. Gosh, I really don't know.
Tough
I
question.
mean, I probably would fly up to you because I feel I feel like I don't need to see you because I'm with you right now is the trouble I'm having. But yeah, I'd probably come up to see you. But
I mean, that would be great.
great. Yep. Okay.
And then together we can we can flutter somewhere else once we're together, and we can go to like I don't know, somewhere really cool like Australia or something, New Zealand.
We were talking today at work. We want to go see the redwoods, and because none of us, one of us had seen the redwoods, and the rest of us had not.
Ooh, all right, drop. That's actually, yeah. I haven't seen the redwoods, but I did one time go to the Forest of the Giants in Washington, and it's different really big trees, and they're really old, like extremely old trees, and they're massive, and I just couldn't even like wrap my brain around how big these trees were. It was so good answer. I would love to go to the redwoods. Okay. Next one. Oh, okay. Side stretch on the knees. Okay. We've done this in some other videos, where we just kind of come up on our knees. All right. Just like this. Okay. And we're going to do a side stretch. Okay. And we want to make sure we're keeping a nice, straight torso, right? We don't want to be rounded again. Again, if you don't want to be on your knees, then stand up for this side stretch. Okay. That's fine too. All right. So we're here for 1 minute and just kind of alternate from side to side. Reaching that arm over. Go, reach the other arm over. You know where I've kind of wanted to go to recently, now that you brought it up? I really want to go to Canada, like northern Canada, like see some of those beautiful blue lakes, and I don't know, it just looks really pretty up there. Yeah.
I'm not really driven. What? Good.
No, I was just gonna say, if we have any Canadians watching, you guys are lucky. You're already there, and you're in the country, and you could just drive up north, and I mean, you have some pristine wilderness up there. What were you gonna say though?
I don't remember anymore. I'm not drawn to like a vacation, like a week at the beach. I'm not drawn to something like that personally. I need to set out and go do something. I need to be accomplishing something, which I have a feeling you can relate to.
Yeah, 100%. I like the beach. I like swimming in the ocean. I love doing that. But yes, I can't do it the whole time. I'm going to be looking for an activity pretty quickly. Yeah. Okay. Oh, next we have calf stretches. Okay. So these are going to be standing up. All right, and a simple stretch, right? You're just going to kind of send one leg back, and you're going to lean into the front leg a little bit, just enough to get that stretch in your calf. So this isn't like a lunge. Don't turn this stretch into an exercise, okay? Just lean into it enough to get the stretch in the back leg. We'll be 30 seconds on each side. Clock is on. And if you guys can hear any noise in the background, my cat is desperate to get in the room, so I apologize for that.
As a viewer, I request that you let your cat in, please.
Actually, there's no reason I can't let him in. Come on. All right, here we go. 5 seconds, and then switch sides.
Oh my gosh. Hey, buddy.
Switch. He wants to join the stretch. He's like, I'm tight too. Yeah. It's been a very difficult day of laying on the couch, I'm sure. Here we go. 15 seconds left on this side. I'm sure all of our animal owners know this, that are watching, that when you're on the ground doing exercises or stretches, that's their cue to come be a part of it. All right, strap. Okay. Oh, okay, nice. This one is leg swings. So this is a bit of an active stretch, right? So a lot of what we've been doing have been static stretches, meaning like we're in one position and we're holding it. This is an active stretch, or a dynamic stretch. We're gonna swing the leg. Oh, I need some balance here, so I'm gonna hold the wall. Swing the leg from side to side. That's gonna open up through your pelvis on the side and on the inside. All right, so here we go. 30 seconds on each side. Get some
All right, so we are just swinging this in front of our body, correct? This feels amazing.
Doesn't it? I know.
Yes. Where have they been hiding? It's not like I've never stretched before. I spent half my life professionally stretching.
I know. This is another one of those ones where I came across it as I was doing some Googling, and I was like, whoa. Like, okay, switch, where has this been? I agree. I mean, this would have been so good when we were rowing, like for the yeah.
I'm sure that like soccer players must do this stretch all the time.
Yeah, no, probably. Yeah, I'm sure they do. All right, here we go. 3 more seconds. Get a couple more swings in and drop. Okay, next is going to be the figure 4 stretch. So the way this looks is you're gonna make a figure 4 out of your legs. All right, and you're just gonna keeping your body upright, right? Remember, we don't want to round through the back here. Keep everything open, chest open, and we're gonna hinge at the hips again, right? So we're hinging, right, instead of rounding. We're gonna hinge at the hips, and we're gonna reach for the toes, all right? And this is one of those ones where it's gonna be different for everybody, okay? So some of you might be here, some of you might be here, some of you might be here. And I happen to be like extremely flexible on this. I don't know why, but I can actually clasp my hands around my foot. So wherever you're at is like fine. We'll go 30 seconds on each side. We're on. And you can also lower your forehead down to your knee. Just be careful that you're not totally rounding through the back. Now my cat is laying on my top. Yeah. I know. Yes. All right, here we go. 3 more seconds, and then we're going to switch sides and switch.
Jenna, can you think of other sports? We are aware of moving like that at the hips because of rowing, because of the sport we did for so long. Are there any other sports that you can think of that also are going to be like, other than, I guess, like gymnastics and stuff, where it's all about form? Because rowing, it's all about form, obviously, and power. But if you're not doing the form right, you're not going to be powerful. I assume that's right in gymnastics as well. Can you think of any other sports?
Like, honestly, no. It's not coming to the top of my head. And if there are other sports, listeners are going to be screaming at their phone, this one.
But my point was going to be, if you are not understanding that fold at the hips, it's okay. We spent most of our lives figuring out how to get that fold at the hips.
Yeah, and what Whitney's talking about is this motion. Oh my goodness, the kitty's blocking me. But it's this motion right here. I mean, this is, like she said, just as we happen to be rowers, and so this is something we've spent our entire rowing career figuring this out. And it's not always intuitive to hinge at the hips. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Whitney. I do think that this takes a little bit of practice, but it does give you such a better stretch. And I know that a lot of people, when they do these types of forward folds, the first thing they do is just kind of round out through their back. Doesn't mean that you won't get a stretch. You will, but you'll just get a deeper stretch if you can keep your core solid and upright and think of your hip as a door hinge and just kind of do it that way. But yeah, that's a good point. I genuinely don't think there's many other sports that do this per se, other than maybe like kayaking, right, or paddling, but it's all like rowing type things.
Right. So if you're not understanding, it can be tricky. Be patient. Just keep trying. It'll hit. Yeah. It's okay.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, I've got one more for you guys today. It's a standing quad stretch. This is another one where most people have probably seen something like this before. I am going to throw my 2 cents in, and I don't, I have an opinion about this one. I don't like it when people grab the opposite leg like this. I would prefer people grab the same leg and the same side as the arm. And the reason I would prefer this over this is simply the twist in the knee. It doesn't look, it doesn't, when I watch the athletes do it, I'm always like, oh, your knee. I would rather just keep everything in line. So I'm going to recommend that you grab the same leg with the same arm for this one. All right, we'll go 30 seconds on each side. We're on. Keep the chest out on this one too. Same thing. Shoulders back, chest out. If this hurts your knee, don't push it, okay? It's, again, we don't need to strain ourselves in any way here, but try to keep everything in a nice straight line, and that does help with the knee stuff.
Also, don't forget, we talked about it on our most recent ab workout. Engaging your core is really what we want to be doing here. Engage your core is going to help you find the balance that you need to get the stretch in your quad. So it's all together. Yeah. You got to engage here to be able to balance to stretch.
Yes, that's a great point. And I'm just using the wall here a little bit too for some stability because I really want to get deep into the stretch. So I'm just going to put my hand on the wall to make that happen. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. Well, if anybody out there can think of another sport where you hinge at your hips in such a way, please, or an activity where you do that, please let us know. Leave us a comment. I'm really curious, if that motion comes into play for anyone else. I guess maybe for people that lift, because a deadlift would look like this. So other than lifting and other than rowing, let me know if anyone has anything. And thank you for joining us for a stretch today. I hope everybody feels nice and centered. I hope your bodies feel nice and loose. This should carry you into the rest of your day feeling nice and limber. So thank you for joining us. Hey, great job today. Thank you for working out with us. You can follow us at I Don't Want to Work Out Podcast on Instagram, or shoot us an email at I Don't Want to Work Out Podcast at gmail.com. We can't wait for the next one.